There's clearly a meaningful gap, again, in communication between millennials and baby boomers. Today we're going to focus on bridging this gap, because the more we bridge it and come together, the more successful we will all be. When we are more effectively communicating our messages with a 60-year-old male or a 35-year-old female, the conversations are different. They're not better or worse. They're simply different. It's really important to, again, let go of our ego. As much as we can always work on and remember, one of the most powerful mantras that I have found is seek to understand and then be understood. Why is it important to learn how to connect with older generations? Might seem kind of obvious. They're typically the big boss, right? And they also often, at least today, have most of the money. And they know people who also have money. So think succession planning, think venture capital. And it is imperative to earn the trust of the older generations, because if they don't trust us, they're not going to respect us, and they're not going to let us come in and have a seat at the table. And that's what we really want. And what we need to show them in especially succession planning and whatnot is the more that they trust us, the more we will be able to open up our ways of not only getting their clients to trust us, and then as a younger person, getting the families to trust us and the younger generations to trust us. That means keeping the assets, whereas, I know with a lot of financial consultants I work with that are looking to retire, their biggest challenge is succession planning. It's a pretty well-known fact that millennials will be as much as 70% of the total workforce in merely 10 years. One of my favorite and I think most important golden rules to trust and communication is a book that I have gotten to know very, very well and refer to often. It's Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements. If you're not familiar with it, please buy it. There's posters, there's literally t-shirts, which I own one. Yeah, I'm kind of a dork, but that's okay. What those four agreements are be impeccable with your words, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always do your best. More ways to earn trust. There are a lot of opportunities, a lot more crossover between baby boomers and millennials than one might think. Something that I'm really fostering in businesses that I'm working with is what I call a reciprocal mentorship. So companies that use mentorship, often they have older executives or older peers mentor the younger ones, right? Well, why don't we have it go both ways? Believe it or not, baby boomers are smart enough to realize they're not as tech savvy as they should be. I'm one of them, and I'm not that old. It freaks me out. Anyway, so have a reciprocal opportunity. Another thing baby boomers want to learn from millennials and younger generations is a greater work-life balance. A third way to connect and therefore gain trust is both parties are willing to work extremely hard. It's just baby boomers typically work hard at the office. Millennials are very willing and happy to work hard. They just want to be able to be wherever they want to be while they're doing it. It's all in how you say it. Ask questions. Don't make statements. Don't make assumptions. It's really important in how you engage, and try again to really check your ego. Also, use vernacular that they're going to understand. There's a lot of vernacular and a lot of things that millennials, when they talk to each other, there's acronyms and there's all these things that you all understand. The older guys and women sometimes whoo, you know, it just flies over their head. So make sure when you're communicating with them that you're connecting. Bottom line, when you're trying to get the attention of an older generation person, if you can show them that your ideas bring greater efficiency, productivity, and thus increased ROI, they're in. You've got them. One final thing, and then I'll open it up if anybody has any questions. When you are seeking a partner, a peer, a client, something just to keep in mind that is an interesting observation. Older women are very similar in their desires as millennials. Women tend to want respect. We want to feel empowered. We want a seat at the table. We want vulnerability. We want empathy. And we want passion in the engagement in what we're doing. Does that sound similar to how millennials feel as well? Just a thought. Thank you so much. My website is www.xycommunication. Would love to talk with any and all of you. Do you have any questions I can help with? Bring it on. Come on. All right, you guys are easy on me. Thank you so much.